Hello and welcome to the Enterprise Talk Conversation Series, a peer knowledge resource by the CXOs for the CXOs. Now to our host, Kanika Goswami.
Hello and welcome to our podcast On Stage with Enterprise Thought Leaders. Today we have with us Matthew, how do you pronounce this? Unangst?
Unangst.
Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. He's a Senior Director of AMD Commercial Client and Workstation. Welcome to our podcast, Matthew. I'm looking forward to a good conversation with you.
Myself as well. Thank you very much.
So a small introduction about Matt. He leads AMD's Commercial Client, PC and Workstation business unit, working across businesses, sales, marketing, and engineering disciplines. This includes driving strong relationships with customers and industry partners to deliver notebook and desktop PCs for enterprises, SMBs, workstation, and education segments. Matt's experience spans design engineering, product engineering, operations, business development, and business unit leadership. With strong history of delivering results, building teams, and bridging across functions, he has a strong passion for delivering great products and working with teams to achieve great outcomes. Anything you'd like to add to it, Matt?
That's hard to beat. Thank you very much. It's great to be here. It's a fun time at AMD. It's a fun time in this industry, and I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
So something you'd like to tell us about AMD?
Yeah, well, AMD is really a leader in developing high-performance computer processors. We have a large array of products that span multiple different parts or different segments of the business. So from our data center solutions to our GPU solutions and then into our client solutions, which is where I work, we're very focused on delivering high-performance processing to help our customers really take computing capabilities to the next level.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we start with the first question. The survey that we are referring to here and basis of which we are speaking to you today. Would you like to say something about the survey before we start the questions, in fact, to just tell our audiences what it is about?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think a lot of people have seen all the buzz around AI. It's in the conversation at just about every turn. We did a survey of about 2,500 IT professionals. And really what we were trying to understand is how are IT departments, how are IT leaders thinking about AI? What are the things that they see as opportunities to take advantage of this technology? But also, what are some of their concerns and what are some of the roadblocks that may be slowing down the implementation? So it's a very comprehensive survey. The intent there is to understand how our customers are thinking about AI. And certainly, I think we'll talk through some of the details here over the next few minutes, but very insightful feedback that we got that's allowing us, both AMD, but also working with our partners to make sure that we're tailoring our AI solutions to really deliver value and help our customers achieve their goals and drive employee productivity as we roll some of these technologies out into the market.
That's interesting to know. So the first question is based on the survey, Matt. It's highlighted that artificial intelligence presents clear organizational opportunities. Yes, but there's still a perceived lack of readiness. Could you elaborate on the main challenges that IT leaders face when adopting AI in their enterprises?
Yeah, I think there's a couple different parts to that answer. The first thing I would say is as we think about applying AI in the enterprise today, it's still a very nascent, very early stage of this technology. And there's a lot of different use cases that are, I'll say, evolving, but not really ready to be rolled out in scale yet. And so I think the first challenge that IT professionals are working through, and it was very clear in the results of the survey, is they believe and are very optimistic about the potential of AI to help make their employees more productive and address many of their IT challenges. But they're still working through trying to figure out how exactly to deploy some of this technology. What is the right hardware? What are the right software solutions? How do they train their workforces and their IT departments to roll it out the right way? So I think that's one of the first things that's slowing it down a little bit. The other thing that we're seeing right now is that most of the AI focus in the media, in the conversation, in our customers' dialogue is really cloud-based AI solutions. That has been where a lot of these new models, you think about Stable Diffusion, you think about ChatGPT, all of these models are running in the cloud. But as the demand for those types of models increases, it's driving a really unprecedented demand and investment need around that infrastructure. It's very expensive to stand up all this technology. And so I think organizations are also looking at that and trying to figure out how they manage their budgets and how they enable some of these AI solutions without having all of that infrastructure requirement. And that kind of feeds into where we think this is going over the next few years. We expect a fairly significant shift from a cloud-focused AI set of solutions into what we call a hybrid AI set of solutions, which has a mix of both cloud-based and client-based or end device-based AI, which we can talk about a little bit more.
Right. And among the survey respondents, 68% believe that AI can help work models run more efficiently. So, how can businesses leverage AI to achieve this efficiency? And what role does AMD play in facilitating this?
Yeah, great question. First off, we're starting to really get some clarity around the types of use cases where we think AI can be used. One of the key areas that we're seeing is the ability for organizations to use these AI tools, whether it's a ChatGPT-like tool or other types of what we call summarization tools, as a source for collecting information or reviewing documentation in a way. So you could think of an engineering organization maybe that has a lot of engineering documentation. And instead of an engineer having to read through hundreds of pages, they can just query an AI tool and ask for more information on a specific part of that. And they get a really concise summary that allows them to be much more productive. There's a lot of other applications as well that we're starting to see kind of evolve, but that's probably one of the lead ones. To the point around how does AMD help with this? Well, on the cloud-based side of things, we have a number of great solutions, and we have announced that we're going to continue to innovate in a very rapid manner in that space. In the part of the business that I'm in, around our client side of things, we've recently introduced our Ryzen Pro 7000 series of mobile products, which has our first generation AI accelerator designed into the chip. And this allows users to start to take advantage of some of these AI use cases on that end device, on the laptop. That technology is first generation. It's very exciting, but what we're really excited about is where that's going over the next few years. And we expect that the capabilities of that hardware, but also the software ecosystem, the use cases, the applications, that's going to evolve rapidly, really over the next couple of years. And so as we think about 2024 and 2025, we're really excited about the potential of our Ryzen chips, what they can do on the notebook side of things in partnership with the software ecosystem to bring a completely new experience to users, to business users in particular, that use our laptops daily.
Well, that's really interesting to know, and I'm sure our audience are very interested in that part of it. So, my next question is, AMD is known for improving system speed and performance. How does AMD's technology contribute to enhancing AI capabilities in enterprise systems, and what innovations can we expect in this regard in the coming maybe quarters, months, or even years?
Yeah, absolutely. I think AMD's demonstrated a really strong capability around bringing leadership technology to the market. So you point out the fact that AMD has delivered better performance, better power efficiency in our products. And what we're doing with rolling out this new AI inference technology on our Ryzen mobile chips is basically just an extension of that same focus around innovation and bringing better performance to our users. Where our products used to have a CPU and a GPU, we're now augmenting that with a third foundational set of technology, which is our inference processing capability, right? And this is again a dedicated set of hardware on the chip. And what it allows a user to experience is now when they're running some of these AI applications, which again are going to evolve rapidly over the next couple of years, it's going to allow those AI workloads to run much more efficiently and much faster on that dedicated AI hardware. And so now you have a chip that for workloads and applications that want a CPU, we have leadership CPU technology. For applications that need great graphics compute capability, we have leadership graphics technology. And now, from this point moving forward, we have leadership AI inference capability on that same chip. And so it's really a great example of how we just continue to push the bounds of leadership performance on these processors and on the laptops that they power by integrating this new technology.
It's interesting that over 50% of all IT leaders mentioned that there's a 5-year timeline to implement AI into their organizations completely. What factors contribute to this timeline, and how can companies accelerate this timeline, shorten it, so that their AI adoption strategies are, completed faster?
Yeah, very good question. So that's a very key finding, and this is that a lot of IT professionals can range all the way out to 5 years in terms of their timeline for a planned AI utilization within their organization. It's our belief that IT departments should be looking at how to accelerate that. We think the potential of this technology is significant, and we think it will help them make their employees more productive. It has the opportunity to help them address many of the security concerns or threats that are out there in the market today. And so, we're pushing and we believe in advocating for IT organizations to accelerate the adoption of AI. Now, what is slowing this down? What are some of the things that are holding organizations back? We talked about this briefly a minute ago. I think the infrastructure costs are a big one. I think, and the survey points to this, is knowing how to apply this, knowing how to train employees, right? So AI technology has a lot of potential, but it also comes with it different working models and different business models than what a lot of us are used to. And so IT organizations are looking at how they deploy this technology, but put the right controls in place so that, their confidential information remains confidential. They don't have, information that's private that's getting out. Training their IT organization, but also their employee base on how to use this. So I think, the industry in this space around AI in particular, it's moving so fast right now. I think, the what I mentioned earlier about moving from a cloud-based to a hybrid base, I think that's going to help accelerate adoption. I think organizations are rapidly getting their heads wrapped around some of the best use cases that are going to help their employees be more productive. And as they do that, it's going to get a little bit more clear to the entire ecosystem around how to go deploy this technology. So, 5 years, that's what our survey results are saying right now. But what we're seeing is that actually a large, or I'll say an increasing number of customers and users are applying this technology now. And the survey very clearly showed that for those that are already applying this technology, they're seeing great benefits in terms of employee efficiency, employee productivity. And I think as we see more organizations experience those results, you're going to see the adoption rate accelerate.
And of course, as you're saying, the time is crunching, so the benefits will flow in faster.
Absolutely.
Right. The survey also notes that 50% of all IT leaders haven't experimented with the latest NLP, the natural language processing apps. So, what potential benefits could enterprises gain from adopting NLP technologies? And what advice would you have for those looking to explore those capabilities?
Yeah, great question. I think as we think about NLP types of models, that is one of a number of different models out there that have a lot of potential. What I would say more broadly is that these models are very new. We've said this a few times over the course of the last 15 minutes we've been talking here. They're very new. They're evolving quickly, and the use cases are rapidly starting to become more clear to organizations. As you think about things like a ChatGPT, the NLP types of models, the big large language models, a lot of opportunity there to enable employees to be more productive through that summarization capability that I talked about. You can think about tools where organizations can query a ChatGPT type of interface that's just for an enterprise, and they can have a richer engagement around better understanding tools or resources within a company. But you can also think about a lot of other use cases. If you think about creators, maybe folks that work in a marketing or a PR type of role, the types of applications that are similar to Stable Diffusion, where it can help you create content in a way that just has never been done before, or even software development. Some of these tools we're seeing today are going to help software developers code or create code better and faster. And so a lot of these use cases, from NLP to code creation to content creation, they're really starting to solidify. And I think we're going to see over the next 6 months just a rapid maturation of these use cases. And as those become more clear, tying it back to our last point of topic or conversation, you're going to see IT departments accelerate their adoption of some of these technologies.
Crunching timelines, as you said. So
Yeah.
my last question is, Matt, how do you see the governance and ethical considerations around AI adoption in enterprises? And what steps should the businesses take to ensure responsible AI implementation? That's a big
Yeah,
question around the world right now. And my next question off
absolutely.
the curriculum is going to be, what do you feel about the new frameworks that are being, discussed for implementation of AI regulation across enterprises? Do you have any thoughts on that? Would you like to share them?
Yeah, great question. Absolutely, it's kind of a hot topic of conversation. AMD, overall, we firmly believe that the development of this technology needs to be done in a moral and ethical manner. We believe that we need to be very responsible with that. And so as we develop our hardware and software solutions, we also need to provide guidance and work with the broader ecosystem around making sure that the right, controls are in place there. AMD has formed a council focused on the ethical creation and adoption of AI. It's led by our CTO. And we've also engaged with a number of other partners and companies across the ecosystem to work collectively around putting the right rules and regulations and guidelines in place around how we do that. So I think this is a space, just like everything else in AI, it's evolving rapidly. But we firmly believe that this needs to be done in a very ethical manner. We've put, like I said, we put structure in place to work, not just us, but across the entire ecosystem and the industry to help go refine those models and those expectations.
And now about your thoughts on the regulations that are coming up for AI usage in enterprises. What do you think about them? What's the direction?
Yeah.
Are they on the right track?
Yeah, generally speaking, I think there's the proposals that are coming forward, and they're different depending on the different countries and the different regions that we look at. I think they all have an underlying intent of making sure that AI is used for good, and that we don't allow it to be used for malicious activity. And I think we're very, very much aligned to that. Obviously, the details of how every single one of those is proposed and ultimately implemented is going to vary by country and region. But we firmly stand by the need to make sure that these AI technologies are deployed in an ethical and obviously legal manner. And we very much will work with different local organizations to help make sure that the rules and regulations support that.
Great. Thank you so much for your time, Matt. I think we are at the end of our questions, unless there's something you want to add, which we may have missed in the questions.
Well, I just want to say thank you very much for having me. Enjoyed having the conversation. And as I think about this AI technology in the AI space, hopefully it was clear. Very exciting space, tremendous amount of potential and opportunity that we see over the next 12 to 18 months coming in this space. With this rate of innovation always comes some uncertainty. But at the same time, our survey results are clear. IT professionals see AI as a technology that can help them make their employees more productive. They see it as a tool that can help their organizations address many of the challenges they're facing today. And so from an AMD perspective, we're very focused on working closely with our customers and with the broader ecosystem to help our customers address some of those challenges, but also opportunities in front of them. So it's exciting times.
That's great to know. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us. Please do follow us on social media for regular updates and new content.